and I can greet you as well. So, all right, while we are waiting for people to join in, I'm super excited to talk about the topic today is really what to do when starting a business. And of course, as promised during the last session 2 weeks ago, I'm going to answer some of the questions that was asked um, that time as well. So let me know where are you from. I see some of our friends from Vietnam is here as well. So welcome, welcome to my second live stream. And I am super excited. Yes, hello. Nice. Good. Okay, so while people are coming in, let me get started and talk about, what to do when starting a business. So, and like this question, I want to like categorize first, right? Because having a business, it can be like we're not really talking about, let's say, for example, a franchise business, right? Where we're not talking about a when you are a property agent or a financial consultant or insurance agent, or maybe you are a freelancer, like you are doing graphic design, all these things. And because those have a specific jobs already that you're going to be doing, right? And for franchise, there's already a system. So we're not specifically talking about that. So we are specifically talking about when you are really gonna create something out of nothing. Like you want to start a cafe, for example, or you want to start your own restaurant business, or maybe you want to start your own training company, just like me. So, so this is the business that we are talking about, right? Okay. So now that is said, the first thing, and I posted this in my social media just yesterday, is that I think really the important thing to think about when you start a business, the very first thing is to ask yourself why. Well, what is the reason you want to start a business? I think not a lot of people who start businesses do this. They just maybe start a business because they heard, oh, they're gonna earn a lot of money from it, or oh, this person actually became successful because he started a business. And when you start a business like that, you actually start with a very weak foundation. And so, but when you ask yourself, why do I want to do this? What is my purpose, right? What is my purpose in starting a business? Then, if you go deeper and deeper, then once you get into that big why, then your foundation in starting a business is actually really, really good, because business in itself is really a challenging journey, I tell you. Especially, like if you want a big business, if you want to grow it, then it's going to be really challenging. So having a very good why, a very big why, will definitely help you. And it's very simple, right? So it's very simple. Let's say, for example, you start off by saying, "Oh, I want to start a business because I want to earn money so that I can feed my family," for example. Then, then you ask yourself, "Okay, then why do I need to earn that money to feed my family?" And then you will have an answer to that. So, for example, oh, because I want my kids to grow up and be healthy and be happy. And then ask yourself again, so why? Why do you want your kids to be healthy and happy? And the answer to that, maybe because, oh, then I will feel satisfied as a parent that I did my job. And then ask yourself again, why? And ask multiple times, many, many times that why, until you get that sense that this is it. This is really kind of like deep inside that connects with you. And when you get in touch with that, then that's going to be a very, very strong foundation. This conversation actually about starting a business for me is really about creating and designing my life. And I remember this because when I attended this program called Money and You in 2013, one of the biggest insight, like the aha moment, like for me was when the trainer shared that what happens is that most people spend their lives just earning money, earning a living, rather than actually really designing their lives. And so when I heard that, it really sinked in, and it's because I've been always kind of like that, like just earning a living and going through the rat race. And I it really made sense to me that, yeah, why am I just doing that? Why am I not creating and designing my life? And so that's kind of like how I started to change. So that's the first step, the why, right? The why. And the second is, after you've gotten clarity and you've gotten your why, then the next is, what is your business idea? And when you think about your business idea, and some of you probably would have some business ideas already, like what kind of business you want to start, then ask yourself, does this business idea solve a problem in the market? Is it adding value to the market? So this is a big thing that I learned from Money in You as well, which is the business that I want to create must add value into the market for it to be successful. Because if you're not solving a problem in the market, then what is it for, right? And most likely it won't last. So that's the second one. Third, after you have the business idea, then you do your market research. So in this market research, you try and understand, the market that you're playing in, like what business, where is it, who are your competitors, all these things. And then more importantly, and this is what I specifically go through with my clients, is that they need to test the market. So the best way to know if your business idea will work is actually to test it, right? So that's the third one. So first one is to ask yourself why. Why are you doing this? Why you want to start a business? What's your purpose? What's your reason? And then a second is to come up with that business idea. And if you have already that business idea, ask yourself, does this idea solve a problem in the market? And then three is to do your market research, and of course to test it into the market, right? So that's the answer to that question, what to do when starting a business. So good. And let me just quickly check if there are any questions I can answer. Right. So, this is a very good one. Um, from Duyan. Duyan, did I pronounce that correctly? Yes. When starting a business, how to find the first teammates? How to find the first teammates? Okay, so when we are talking about teammates, let me just quickly clarify this. When we are talking about teammates, are we talking about business partners, or are we talking about people who will be working for you? So never mind, I will answer both, so that uh, it will answer it anyway, either way. So the how to find the first teammate, and if we are talking about business partners, I wouldn't say I'm an expert at this, but I've been through several business partnerships, and not all of them, went well in that sense. So uh, I do have experience when it comes to business partnerships, and I would love to share them with you. So far, I've had, I think, four business partnerships, and so the first one is, I left because I felt the it was a bit unfair, and there's about six of us, and only half was putting in, like a lot of the work, and so I thought it was a bit unfair. I won't go into the details because it will be unfair for the other parties, but for me, it felt like it was a bit unfair, and that's why I chose to actually leave the group, that partnership. So that's the first one. And then, by the way, I'm gonna share later on like the lessons that I've learned when it comes to choosing the teammates, right? Second is it it was, I think, in that business partnership, I worked so much, like I worked so hard to make it work, and that partnership basically I changed my leadership style. I changed how I interacted with my business partners. I changed how much how to say command I had. So there were times that I told my business partner, okay, why not you make the decisions? Why not you make you lead the team? Like in making the decisions for the company, and then I will step back, and then let's see how that goes. And then there were times that I was like more demanding, and then there was, so I did a lot of variations in terms of my leadership style, to really make it work. But at the end of that partnership, it still didn't, and so I basically asked them to make them choose whether they want to stay or leave, and so in the end they left. So that's the second. Then the third one was actually pretty good. It was going pretty well, and it was just at some point, we were working together for a couple of years. At some point, our goals have changed, and so I decided that, oh, okay, it's not aligned anymore, so, and so I left. And then the fourth one is um, is now pretty good. So the fourth one is my business partnership right now, which is going very well. So I have other coaches who are my business partners, and they know this because I've been telling this to them as well, that so far my experience of this partnership has been really really good, and I'm really loving it, and it is really working for us. So that's kind of like my experience. So now the lesson, right? So to answer that question, how to find your first teammates as business partners. I think for me is really what I learned is that first you really need to understand your own values first. Like when I talk about values, I'm talking about what's really important for you, for the business. What makes it important? What do you want to achieve? So when you are clear with whatever your values are, whoever you want to bring in as a teammate or as a business partner, is then you align with them and check with them what are their values, because this is one of the biggest thing that we did in this new partnership that we have, was to really check what are our individual values, and we actually aligned those values, and see how we're gonna work with them, because everyone has different values, but there will be values that will be similar. And so for us, it was helping people, having fun while doing business. So this few values actually align, and so that's why we are working together very well. And it's not only like being aware of it, and it's really aligning it together so that you can work very well. So that's what I learned. And then when it comes to let's say people who will be working for you, this kind of teammates, I also had a bit of experience when it comes to hiring people, and like working for me. I think this one is really, in a way, challenging, Because if we only hire when it comes to skills, there's a lot of people who have skills. Like there's a lot of people who are very knowledgeable, and most would be graduating, similarly holding the same diploma or maybe masteral degree. But I think what I learned through my journey is that when we want to hire people, we I think it's best to look for character. It's best to look for their grit, their determination, their openness to learning. So all of this soft skills is really, I think, the X factor that if you want to hire those kind of people. The only question is, which is always asked to me by my clients, is that, okay, but how do I get to know that? Because I haven't hired them. And of course, there are more advanced HR tactics or techniques to be able to get all of this, by answering specific questions, all this. And if you don't have access to these kind of things, what I can suggest is to go through a trial period with a potential employee and check them out. Like, how do they perform? And then from there, you can assess if they have the character, if they have the heart that you are looking for. And then from there, you can make your decision, right? So that is basically how to find your first teammates when it comes to hiring people, right? Good. So I hope I've answered that question. Uh, Let me check. Hey, hello everyone. Hi, hi. Let me see. There's some pretty good question. Oh, someone I have said have an amazing voice. Thank you very much. It must be the microphone. Thank you. Yeah, so I apologize if I'm challenged to read your. I try as much as possible. Duyen, Uyen, Swan Fong. Uh, Thank you very much for all your comments. He's the one who said, oh, she, I think he or she's the one who said, I have an amazing voice. So, hi, everyone. Um, Good. There's some questions here. What value do I create? Should I consider the risk before starting a business? Okay, so let me answer this question. I think this is very good. From Nguyen Huang, should I consider the risk before starting a business? And my answer to that is yes, of course. But it's a very interesting question because to me, right, risk is everywhere, right? So there's this funny video that I saw, is that this guy was saying that even life, your life is at risk because you won't come out alive, right? You won't come out alive. And so everything has risk, and so even business. But the interesting thing about risk is that it's actually not fixed. So risk is very relative, the more, so let's say, for example, if there was two people, so one is me, and then one is someone who is, let's say, a newly graduate of, let's say, engineering, because I used to be an engineering student. So engineering graduate, right? And let's say you ask this two persons, so me and then this engineering graduate, to start a new business, right? And to start the same business, exactly the same business, like let's say maybe a spa. Yeah, spa. So both of us will start a spa. So who do you think will have, a higher risk? Who do you think will have a higher risk? So me or the new engineering graduate, right? So Think about that for a bit. So most likely your answer will be the engineering graduate, right? So he has a higher risk because I have more experience when it comes to business. And so that is kind of like a bit understanding how risk is actually changing in terms of your experience, your knowledge, your skills, what is the environment that you're going to be playing on. So a lot of factors comes into play when you talk about risk. And so if you are someone new and you haven't even started a business yet, and you are thinking of starting a business, and you are thinking, okay, there's a lot of risk in starting a business. Yes, there's a lot of risk starting a business, but you can lower the risk by one, learning as much as you can when it comes to that business, being really prepared, um, not up to perfection, right? Like just enough, just enough. Then two, looking for masters or mentors. This is something that I learned from Money New as well, which is one of the biggest things as well. And in fact, now even with all the years that I have, now I have about 14 years experience in business. I still look for masters. I still look for mentors that I can help me. So having mentors or even a coach is definitely going to help to reduce the risk. And then of course, looking for other partners, the right partners, just like what we talked about earlier, then it also reduces the risk. So there's a lot of things that you can do in order to reduce the risk, but it will never be like zero, it never be gone. So I hope I answered that question. So yes, definitely do consider, but of course, don't let that stop you. Reduce the risk and start anyway, right? Okay, good. So far, I've been talking about answering questions 15 minutes. Oh my God, I actually forgot my special glasses, my professor glasses. Ah, I'm so enthusiastic in answering the questions. I forgot my special glasses. Now I hope now I can answer it better. Okay, so moving on, continuing. Before I continue answering the question, so if you are new here, please do subscribe to the channel, like like whatever the normal YouTubers say. Please like, share, and subscribe. So okay, next question. Interesting. From the person who said that I have an amazing voice. Swan Fong. What is the difference between entrepreneurs in movie and in real life? Interesting question. You changed glasses. Yes, I did. so, so the difference, and okay. So again, maybe just to clarify, I think there's a lot of movies that depict different entrepreneurs and things like that. So I think it's it's very difficult to generalize like entrepreneurs in the movie and like in real life. But I'm super interested to answer this question because I think it's really interesting. Um, okay, there are movies. There are like really good movies, right? Movies that you probably will remember for a long time. That has like entrepreneurship, like maybe let's say for example, like Moneyball. Moneyball is a sports show, but there's a lot of business aspect in it. I really love that movie. So, but anyway, so there's a lot of there are good movies out there that depict entrepreneurs really well, and those are the movies that you might want to like really study and learn from. But then there are movies who have a more kind of like light-hearted kind of theme, you know, like maybe it's a comedy and they don't take the topic seriously. And so the depiction of an actual entrepreneur there might not be a real representation of an actual entrepreneur. Movies like, for example, Startup, or maybe the movie that showed Facebook, the growth of Facebook, like when it was starting up. So the focus of the movie was a lot on the drama instead of the actual work that they did. So you need to be mindful when you are watching this kind of movies, and think about what can I take away from this and what are like not useful for you. So this is very important because there's a lot of shows out there that gives a lot of lessons when it comes to entrepreneurship, but it's up to us, it's really up to us to see and look and take away the good stuff from there, right? So we, as entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs, we want to be always open to look at what are the key things or the gold nuggets that I can take away from this experience. Not only watching movies, but maybe when you are meeting up with friends and listening to people, or maybe reading a book, you always ask yourself, you know, what's the gold nuggets that I can take away from this? And it keeps you awake, it keeps you present, it keeps you open to learning, and it will help in your growth as a person as well. So good. Um, then, of course, in real life, um, entrepreneurship is definitely, unless you are doing it, then that's the only time that you will really understand what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur. Um, but one of the things that I think is the main difference between a movie and a real life, right, is that in the movie, everything is kind of like shorten up, like chop chop cut, and everything is very fast. And so in real life, of course, building a business really takes time. And if you have ever heard of if you ever heard of Gary Vaynerchuk, and I love his content, and he always talks about one thing that is the problem of like very young entrepreneurs nowadays is that they don't have the patience. So, so in business, you need to be really patient, and you need to focus on the process, and making things better and better until it becomes, you know, like the best out there or excellent. So patience is really one key factor in real life entrepreneurship. In the movie, of course, everything is compressed and short to fit 2 hours for you to able to like watch it. Then it gives a different perception that everything is so fast, everything is so easy, right? So this is something that I think one of the biggest difference when it comes to entrepreneurship in the movie and in real life. So cool. Ooh, yeah. They. Thank you for commenting about my background and my lights. So I hope I don't know if I answered that question directly, but um, I think it's very good to be open to a lot of things, like movies, like channels and books, even TV series. There are Korean shows that I watch to learn about business. So I think I will share that in future live streams, not in this live stream. See what I did there? See what I did there? Huh, I'm hooking you. Okay, so yeah, so I'll share some of the series, the shows that I watch in order to learn about business as well. Cool. Okay. Oh wait. Let me go back to answering your questions. I'm getting excited about all of these things. Cool. Right. Good. So, oh, Lekin. Sorry if I hope I pronounce your name correctly. What are common mistakes when leading a business? So we're now talking about a little bit about leadership. And leadership is something that is by default an entrepreneur uh, have. Like there's no question. This one you don't need to ask an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur by default you need to lead. So we're going into a bit of leadership question now. So what are common mistakes when leading a business? And for someone who has failed in business several times, I think this is something that I can answer. Um, Not that I'm proud of that, but I learned a lot from failing in business as well. Oh, another. Oh, I'm talking a lot about money and you in this live stream. So another thing that I learned from money and you is that there is no failure, only feedback. And so before I attended money and you, I failed massively in business. Like so massive that I actually wanted to end everything, to end my life, and commit suicide. So it was pretty bad. It was really really bad. And now I can talk about it like very easily, because it has been many years ago. And because I took failure like so seriously, and that's why I was suffering. I was really struggling that time. But then when I attended Money and You in 2013, there's this lesson that talks about there's actually no failure, only feedback. And then I stepped back. It's like, no failure, how's that possible? Like, all my life, in school, there's always like, it's either you pass or you fail, you pass or you fail. Or like you go on like other tasks, like so as an engineer I needed to take my license exams, and if I don't pass that exam, then I won't be a licensed engineer, so it means I'm a failure, and like in that sense. So a lot of my life growing up, the failure was in there, and I'm sure a lot of people has that as well. But then here in Money New, they're talking about there's actually no failure, only feedback. And and then when I got that, of course I didn't got it immediately, because my brain was struggling. And a term that I learned from my mentor, Douglas, when I attended his program, cognitive dissonance. So it was like a huge word, cognitive dissonance. I was like, "Wow, what is that?" And basically, cognitive dissonance is that when you learn something new and it's against to what you have learned in the past, and it doesn't match, in your mind they are kind of like having this fight. And that's cognitive dissonance, because your mind cannot comprehend. You've always had this way of thinking, like this knowledge that, oh, it should be like this, but then there's something that comes, something new that's like, no, 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 it should be like this. And that's cognitive dissonance. So so during that time that there's no failure, only feedback, I had cognitive dissonance. And it took me like I think months before I fully got the lesson from that. And when I got that lesson, then the heaviness inside me about all my past failures suddenly like melted away. And it's because we as humans are really meant to learn from our experiences. And without experiencing things, without failing, we won't be really learning. And so when I truly got that, then I was so grateful, I was so thankful that I experienced all of that, so that I can learn a lot as well. So yes, that was a long intro for this question. I got to share a bit of my story. So what are the common mistakes when leading a business? I think one thing is not really listening to your clients. So as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, it's always a process. It's always a process of getting better, improving your business. And so if you are very stubborn, if your ego is always in front of you, and you're always saying, no, 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 I'm right, I know this, I'm right, instead of listening for feedback, listening for, from your clients, like how can you make this better, then most likely your business will suffer as well. Of course, not only clients, you also listen to your business partners, listen to your mentors, and so having that openness to learn. Again, we're going back into that. Then it will really help you, right? So nowadays, in my business, we even started a focus group, to bring in like existing clients and have a conversation with them and talk to them, make them experience our products and services, and ask them, what else, how can we improve this, what would you like to have, these kind of questions. So I think that's one of the common mistake, when leading a business, is like not listening to to the clients, to the people around you. Then the second thing, I want to share, um, because I know and I've had clients who are focused in their craft. What do I mean by that? So let's say, for example, there's this person that, she wasn't a client, but I know her, and she started her business, and she started a bakery business. So she knows how to bake, she knows how to create like breads and pastry, and so she went and spoke to me, and seek for advice, because after she started her business, at first it was good, she was doing good sales, people were buying her products, and and she got kind of like overwhelmed, right? So she's the baker, she's doing most of the things, she's handling the transaction, getting the payment, packing all the bread, and it's kind of like a one-man show. And so she approached me and told me that, things started to become bad. Like, she's not, she's making mistakes in packing, she's missing out some of the change, like when someone pays, and then, so she was, having a lot of mistakes, when she was doing the business. And of course, the clients didn't like this, and so the number of clients went down and went down, and eventually the quality of her bread also went down, because she couldn't really focus. She was like, like depressed, because the sales was going down. And so I asked her, like, when you are there, when you are in business, like, what are you focused on? And so she was telling me that what she just wants is to bake. That's the thing, that's the reason why she started a business, because she just wants to bake bread and sell those bread. And I told her, but I understand that, but you can also do that by getting employed in another bakery shop, right? You can bake as much as you want, and the owner will pay you as a baker. Why not? Why, since that's the only thing you want to do, right? So why not do that? Then she started to think, but I want more. They say, okay, you want more, like what more? So she said, oh, I want the freedom to be able to, bake what I want, because when I work for someone else, then I will bake what they want, not what I want. Okay, Good. What else? What else? What else do you want? So I want the freedom, whenever I want to close the shop, go for an holiday. Yeah, okay, good. So you want all of this, and yes, that is possible when you become an entrepreneur. But you have to understand, this is what I told her. You have to understand that when you start your own business, you're not only a baker, right? So the way she was thinking was that, oh, I just want to be a baker and I want to start a business. So that is not possible, because when you start a business, you need to take on a new role, which is the entrepreneur. So now you have the baker and you have the entrepreneur, right? So you have now two identity that needs to work together. So this entrepreneur is the one that will be responsible to think about the future, the business. How can the business become better? How can this business serve the clients better? How can I introduce new bread so that my clients will love me more? So this part is the job of the entrepreneur, while you have that part of being a baker. And so when I started to explain this to her, then she started to think. Then she had an aha moment. She, now I know. Now I know. She hasn't been thinking like that. She was just thinking of, like, like a normal job, normal employee. So that is not possible anymore. So when you are entrepreneur, you have to have a different identity added into that passion that you have. So that is the another thing, that a common mistake with people is that they think they still need to do the same thing that they need to do. So that's why when people say, find your passion and make it into a business, that's only one part of the equation. The other part is you need to really understand and learn about entrepreneurship as well. Yeah, having that entrepreneurial mindset. Good. Thank you for that question. That was a long one. I was very passionate about answering that question. Let me go through who are here. Hi, everyone. Hey. Ooh, E-Boy. Hi, E-Boy. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let us continue. I'm on fire. I'm super excited answering all these questions. Yes. Let's stay on topic and on leadership. Nguyen Huang Chi Man. Yes. Again, I apologize. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. What is the importance of leadership to the? Oh, this is the one that I answered earlier. Oh no, I haven't have it. Um, Yeah. So what is the importance of leadership to the business? So again, I think I answered this a bit earlier. Is that when you become an entrepreneur, leadership is actually by default. It needs to be there. You need to become a leader. And interestingly, I think each and every one of us, and whether you believe this or not, is not the case, right? So it doesn't matter, because this is just the truth. Every one of us is a leader, right? And the question that was asked me during that time when I was like doubting, when this person told me this, is that who leads your life? Who's the one leading your life? And the only answer to that is you. So that's why you are a leader as well. And it's only up to us to act like a leader, right? So we are already a leader, and it's only up to us to act like a leader. So going back to the question, so what is the importance of leadership to the business? So business is like a business is like a ship, right, in the sea, in the ocean, and someone needs to steer the ship. Someone needs to, steer the ship in order to get to the destination that you want. And leaders are the one who are steering the ship. So the leaders are the one, like the entrepreneur, right? They are the ones looking out into the sea and seeing what's in front of them, what's in the future, and then understanding and knowing who is behind, who is working in the ship, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, in order to utilize them to their capacity, like to their strengths. So a leader is the one who understands this and executes. And that's why a leader is very, very important in a business. So if there is no clear leader in the business can go into different directions, or the business won't actually move, right? Because no one is leading the business. There's no vision to move forward to. So that's why it is very important. Cool. I hope I've answered that question. Thank you very much for that question. So again, if you are new here, please do subscribe so that and click the bell button, right? So that you get notified for the next live session or my other content. All right. Good, good, good. Seems like we have new comments about the sea. It's too difficult to know what's in the water. That's a very good comment. And in entrepreneurship is the same. So remember 2019, it was the year before the pandemic. And so in 2019, there was a lot of businesses, including mine, when I started a new business, that didn't knew what was coming, right? No one knew what is going to happen. No one knew about COVID-19 is going to happen in 2020. And it's like that. So no one knows, like no one can see everything uh, ahead of time. Like even in the sea, you can only see uh, like a certain distance. So but that's what I love about entrepreneurship as well. It's really an adventure, and to me, I think that is so much fun. It's a lot of fun to go out there and experience things without fully knowing everything. And I think, of course, not a lot of people are like that. Like people would like to be more, secured and sure about everything, and it's okay, right? It's okay. So if that is you, then you need to understand that is your values. So I want to go back to what I shared earlier as well, understanding your values. So if you understand these are your values, like feeling secured, and knowing, like being certain in the near future, then maybe entrepreneurship is not for you yet. Not for you yet. So I say yet because people change, right? People change. So, but that's fun for me. That's fun, like having that adventure. Sorry, I digress a bit, but I really like that comment about the sea. It's difficult to know what's in the water. That is very true. He said with not drinking. Okay, moving on. Let's look at, I enjoy reading your comments. So thank you very much for being here again. I appreciate all of you in sharing this second live stream with me. And yep. Ooh, that's a very good question. Since I've been talking a lot about money and you in this live stream, maybe I answer this question from Tuyet Mai. Can you share why we should go to Money in You? And Money in You is Okay, so there's only, I would say, four four life-changing programs that I can recommend, and one of them is Money in You. And one Money in You is the first, my very very first transformational program. So Money in You is a personal development program, a business program, a money program, but ultimately for me, it's a transformational program. It's a program that has changed my life, the trajectory of the direction of my life, and it will never go back to the same. And that's basically transformation, right? So transformation is when your life totally changed, and that's Money in You. And it's my first one. That's why it's also the most significant one for me. And I know from people, from my friends in Money in You and people who have attended Money in You as well, that each and every one of us kind of like had a very how to say, different transformation. So I can only speak about my own experience in Money in You. So to me, I went into Money in You, coming out from a failed business, and I was, restarting my life, and I was like, paying off debts. I had a lot of anger issue. I was depressed. I told you I wanted to, like, I was at that point of suicide, right? And Money in You came at a point where all of that was happening inside me, but a lot of it was the money conversations, because I failed in business, and I was in huge debt that I was paying off, that caused a lot of problems, even in my other areas of life, so in my relationships, etc. But the root cause of it was money. And so in Money in You, I got the concept of abundance, and it's like opening up my head into this new reality, that there's so much out there. There's so much possibility, so much opportunity, so much wealth, so much knowledge, so much experience, things to experience. And and that kind of abundance was like mind blowing to me. And for someone who wants to stop living, seeing all of that is like, I felt like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss out on a lot of these things if I like stop living right now. And it totally kind of like changed my mind, and it made me really live my life. And I spoke about the the one of my key learning is that to design my life, right? So most people spend their lives earning a living, rather than creating or designing their lives. And so then from there, when I changed the trajectory or the direction of my life, then I started creating my life, designing my life, living my life the way I want it. And that's totally a huge shift. And that's only kind of like one, right? So I still learn a lot from Money in You, but that's kind of like one of the biggest things for me, where I will always be forever thankful and grateful for, like, that program. So so with that, right, with that, if you have something, even one thing that you want to change in your life, then definitely Money in You is a program that can create that transformation. So so definitely I highly recommend, if you are considering attending Money in You, go for it. Attend it. It's a totally worth it investment, so for yourself, right? So Hiyah, thank you for asking that question. Money New is one of the things that I'm passionate about, and one of the programs that I always go back, yearly, and I even support that program as well. Cool. Right. Oh my God. It's 8:55. I was shocked. I'm still reading some of the questions. Uh, Virtual hug. Oh, thank you very much for the hug. Okay. Yeah, it's 8:56. So I'll try and squeeze in one more question. I'll be very quick in answering this. How much time do you spend in your business? So, yep. Okay. So, and again, this answer is just me. And because one, I'm a full-time entrepreneur, and basically I spend a lot of time in my business, and it's because it's a business that I love doing. So to me, it's really not like work. I'm enjoying it. Even when I meet up with people, um, even if it's a casual meetup, my antenna is always open to, like, what are the possibilities that can happen, all these things. And so I spend a lot of time, uh, maybe average in a day, 10 hours at least. But the beauty of being an entrepreneur is having the flexibility. So I get to decide when is my break, when is my holidays, or when do I spend time. Just this morning, I quickly scheduled tennis session. So I went out in the morning to play tennis, and this kind of like the flexibility that an entrepreneur has, right? So we have the freedom and control over our schedule. So even though I work hard, long hours, I do take breaks. Like, let's say, for example, this Sunday I'm gonna be talking to a group of 30 people about emotions and success and all this. So that's part of work as well. Yeah, then I do podcasts as well. So I create content, because I want to, like, deliver value out there. So yeah, so I do spend a lot of time, but that's me. When I was still working and I started doing business, I spend about 1 hour to 2 hours per day, and it's actually good enough, because we kind of like share the time with other my other business partners as well. So, my all my lights are switching off, so it means it's time already. Okay, so I hope I answered that question. And there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to spending time in your business. The main question that you need to be answering is how much time you need to put in to make your business work, right? Because let's say your business is online and you just need to spend like 1.5 hours per day or 2 hours per day, then it is already good enough. Or maybe just 4 hours per week, it's also possible, right? Which reminds me of one of my favorite authors, Tim Ferriss, 4 Hour Work Week. So he's one of the people that I follow as well. So there's no right or wrong answer to that. It's really up to you how you want to manage your business. And of course, for me, what I believe is the more you put in into your business, uh, the faster it can go as well. Cool. So it's time. Thank you everyone for being here and for asking all those wonderful questions. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing according to Nguyen. You're much welcome. And please do look out for other content and for future live streaming as well. Thank you, everyone. Oh, one more thing. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.